Them up, sat with them around 6 a.m. and advised them, encouraged them, threatened them, warned them. They heard everything. They wanted to obey their parents, but when they entered the campus, they discovered that they came under another energy. So even though they received the advice of their parents, there is another energy there. After 2 months, they start feeling lonely. They start feeling as if they are not beautiful until a boy approaches them and tells them how beautiful they are. All their friends are talking to them about how they have found new relationships. And then they suddenly discover that the biology that brought them to the university, they are no longer focusing on the biology. They stay on the mirror and they are checking. Is it that my body shape is not good enough? And then they start buying clothes that they can't wear at home. The reason is because they've come under another energy. There's another life there. And so in addition to advising your children, make sure when they are going, give them priesthood. So that when they come there, they will carry their own atmosphere. If they don't have their own atmosphere, they will have that advice, but they will still be defeated. Because there's an energy on the campus. It's an energy of lust and seduction. It's an energy of violence. It's an energy of waste and destruction. Because there are demonic princes there. This is why you see that nowadays, we don't only send children to school to study philosophy and biochemistry. We also have campus fellowships. We also have churches to make sure that we contend with the spirit of that territory, because a civilization will arrest your heart, either of God or of darkness. And so what we are saying is, the moment the joy of the spirit comes, what it's trying to do is to awaken you to another world. And so corruption may be all over, not you. Iniquity may be all over, not you. Not because you are so disciplined. Yes, discipline is a part of it, but in addition to discipline, life will insist. I didn't sleep last night because I was disciplined. I slept because when it gets late, life will make sure that I sleep. And I didn't wake up this morning because I'm disciplined. When the day breaks, after a while, if you don't wake up by discipline, life will wake you up. I don't eat food because I'm disciplined. I eat food because there is a monitor in my system called hunger. After a while, no matter how I try, 1 day, 2 days, on the third day I will say, give me water. Give me water. Because life will insist. It's stronger than discipline. It's a civilization. And the first way God activates life in your soul is through the joy of salvation. Because there are many things that will take your attention. House rent can take your attention. Lying, iniquity, corruption, evil can take your attention. But when the joy of the Holy Ghost comes, Nehemiah chapter 8 verse 10, he said, the joy of the Lord is our strength. It brings you into another world. And then I said, when that happens, then the law of the spirit of life is also activated. The law of the spirit of life is what empowers your spirit man to be able to walk without corruption. So you now discover that you are in the world, but you are not of the world. Because you no longer live by your choice anymore. You live by the choices that God makes for you. Because you have come to discover that what He chooses for you is better than what He will choose in 1,000 years. And so sometimes when your will is at variance with His will, you will drop your will and choose His will. For those of you who know what is happening in the Western world today, it's so terrible. Today, in the Western world, children of 4 and 5 years, they tell them to choose the sex they want. A child who cannot determine the school he or she goes to, a child who cannot provide for his or her own feeding, you now tell the child to choose. And so the child can wake up and say, I don't like girls, so I'm not a girl anymore, I'm a man. You who is the parent, there's nothing you can do. If you try anything, they will take that child away from you. And that child is gone forever. Meanwhile, this is also a world where if you hit your son and they hear, even if he doesn't report you to the police, if he mentions it and his teacher hears in school that you hit him, the teacher is under oath to report you to the authorities. If the teacher doesn't, if the authorities discover, both you and the teacher will be charged for criminal offense, for hitting your own child. Your child can wake up at the age of 16 and say, I feel like having a boyfriend and I feel like sleeping with my boyfriend. You cannot come and say this is fornication. Because in that world, immorality is now exercised. And if your child desires it, there's nothing you can do. So if you leave men unto men, they will destroy themselves. You think that's a civilized world? They have become so civilized that they are now backward. Because the wisdom of man